Hi, it's Christina from Swell Foot Living, and this practice, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be flying high into crow, which is going to be a great pose for strength and balance. I'm also going to warm you up really nice, get into the joints, also get into the back, so enjoy. Coming to the front of the mat, bringing your feet about hip width apart, bringing your hands to heart center, rolling your shoulder blades back and down, coming into your foundation, your Tadasana. Let's bring those toes up and really ground through the heels and the balls of the feet, engaging those quads. Shoulder blades down the back, sides of the body long. Close those eyes, bring the toes down. Breathing in and out through the nose, settling into your practice, feeling nice and rooted and grounded. 2 more breaths here. Equal pressure against both of those hands, even engaging those arms just a slight bit. And then opening up those eyes, let's inhale those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, right into sun salutes. Exhaling, swan diving, folding all the way forward, getting into those hamstrings. Inhaling to a flat back, either fingers to touch or hands just underneath the knees. And then hands all the way to the mat, walking back into plank the first time. Bringing those feet together, and then bringing that belly in, having a nice long body from the crown of the head to the heels. And then bringing the heels over to the right, and then over to the left. So starting out with a nice strong core, we'll warm up your core and then get it ready for your practice. Over to the right, over to the left, over to the right, and then over to the left. You can always just come down into the knees for that one as well. Coming back to that center, and then we're gonna push back into our downward dog and we're just gonna walk it out. Bending one knee, bending the other knee. And then we're going to come forward, walking forward, standing forward fold, bringing your feet about hip width apart, inhaling those arms all the way up, and hands to heart center. Inhaling those arms up, full salute this time. Exhaling, swan diving, folding all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back, happy hamstrings, engaging the quads. Exhaling, coming into high plank. Coming forward on those toes, down to the knees, elbows nice and close to the body, coming all the way down to the ground, shoulder blades back and down, cobra. Coming through downward dog, through the knees, curling the toes, back into downward dog. Hopping or stepping to the front of the mat. Inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. 2 more of these, inhaling those arms up. Warming up the joints, exhaling, swan diving, folding all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhaling, high plank. Coming forward on the toes, down to the knees, elbows in, all the way down. Cobra, shoulder blades back and down, elbows nice and close. Curl the toes and send the hips back into downward dog. Nice, strong belly, reaching back through the tailbone. If you want, straightening out those legs. And then hopping or stepping to the front of the mat. Inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. Inhaling up. Exhaling, swan diving, folding all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhaling, high plank. Coming forward on those toes. If you want this time, just coming to a hover, the shoulders are above the elbows. Collarbone up. Upward dog or cobra. Tops of the feet are on the ground in upward dog. The arms are straight. Otherwise, knees are on the ground, arms are bent. Downward dog. Pulling back through the belly, coming all the way back. Sending those hips back, straightening out those arms, shoulder blades away from the ears, or shoulders away from the ears. Nice deep breath here. And then hopping or stepping to the front of the mat. Inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. And then let's bring those feet a little wider than hip width and just give yourself a little bit of a twist here. So you can look back towards your heels. And I really like this twist. You can give your kidneys a little bit of love just on the back, lower back, side to side. And then bring those arms up. So you're gonna come from shoulder to shoulder. Make sure you're having a space wherever you're doing this, and you're nice and grounded through those heels and the legs. You can even look back a couple more times from side to side. And then come right back to that center, shake it out, bringing those feet hip width apart. And then we're gonna bring those arms all the way up and then out to the horizon, and then bring your hands to your shoulders, and then just roll your shoulders back. Making circles with elbows, and then forward. And then this one's an awesome one for the neck. You're gonna bring those hands behind, and you can just slightly grasp those fingertips. And then you're gonna bring those elbows together and tuck your chin in. Nice long spine, belly in, and then out, maybe a little baby back bend, and then forward, exhaling. Inhaling up, and exhaling forward. One more time, inhaling up, and exhaling forward. And then coming back up, then bringing those arms all the way up. And then make fists, and we're just gonna do a little pump here. So you're gonna just bring some circulation into your forearms. So you're gonna flex and point those fingertips. So just getting a little bit of circulation in those arms, taking another couple breaths here. Pump, 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 pump. And then bringing those hands to heart center. Bringing those hands down, just give them a little bit of a shake. Inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch. Exhale, swan dive, fold all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back. This time, exhaling, coming down into your forward fold and just allowing your head to hang heavy here. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then you're gonna bend those knees so the ribs touch the quads, and then inhaling those arms up into chair. Bringing those hands to heart center. And then we're just gonna make a flowing little twist. So you're gonna bring that left elbow to that right knee, or that left knee, and then right elbow to that right knee. So you're gonna go back and forth, a little bit of a flow, getting into the back. Good. And then one more to each side. And then let's bring those hands back down and extend those legs. Taking a few more breaths here. And then we're gonna roll all the way up, bringing those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. So this is an awesome one to do. We're gonna come into cat and cow and chair. I love doing this one. So coming back, putting all the weight back into the heels, and then bringing those hands to those knees. And then we're gonna round that spine, look towards the navel. And then inhaling, looking up, crown of the head up. And exhale, rounding. You can even do this on the couch. Inhaling, looking up. 3 more. Exhale, rounding. Bringing the shoulder blades away from each other. Inhaling up. And exhale, rounding. Inhaling up. Last one. Exhale, rounding. And inhaling up. Good, and then bringing those feet together, and then just giving your knees a little bit of a knee circle here. And then the other direction. You'll always see us doing this little one before we go surfing. It's so good for the knees. Good. Make sure it's all even. And then inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. And here you can have the toes together and the heels just a little bit apart. We're gonna inhale those arms all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, fold all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhale, coming all the way into your plank. Good, and then coming down into your knees, tops of the feet on the ground. Bring the heels of the hands in, coming into your table. And then bringing that right leg up straight behind you into a little bit of an arc. And then bring the knee to the nose. And then bring it back out. And knee to the nose. So as you see, we're doing a lot of rounding with that spine, getting the shoulders away from each other, out. And then knee to the nose. And then bring that foot in between those hands, making sure the knee's right over the ankle, coming in, opening up that heart and that chest, coming up. Nice deep breath here. Bringing those hands down, fingertips to the ground. You're gonna curl those back toes under, come off that back foot, and then straighten and flex that back ankle. So you're coming forward, maybe a little bit forward towards your toes, and then back towards your back, and back towards your heel. So it's an awesome calf stretch. Taking another nice deep breath here. And then what we're going to do is you're going to come all the way up into your lunge. Nice deep breath here. And then coming back down with those hands, you're going to straighten that front leg, coming over that front leg. Bending that knee, and then bringing those arms all the way up. And you can always do this right on your knee as well. So if you wanted to, you can straighten out that front leg. And then coming back up. And then last one, if you want, again, off the knee, straightening out that front leg. And then bending that front knee, coming all the way up into your crescent lunge. Bringing those hands down, bringing that foot back, and then just pushing back into your downward dog, maybe giving yourself a little bit of a press out here. And then coming back down onto those knees, again, maybe bringing the heels of the hands in just a little bit. And then bringing that left leg out, nice big arch with the back. And then sucking that belly in, bringing the knee to the nose, and back out. Knee to the nose, back out. Last one, knee to the nose, really pulling in that belly, and then bringing that foot right in between those hands, and then curling those back toes under, and then coming up off that back knee, coming onto those fingertips and pointing and flexing that foot. Back and forth, getting a nice huge stretch in that calf, taking a few more breaths here. And then bringing those arms all the way up, coming into your crescent lunge. So either your back leg's nice and straight, and your front knee's bent, or you're all the way down on that knee. And then straightening out that front leg, bringing those hands down, looking towards that knee. Bending that front knee, coming back into your crescent, nice and balanced. And then straightening out that front leg, bringing those hands down. Bending that knee. Front knee coming up. And last one, bringing those hands down, straightening out that front leg. And then crescent lunge. Inhaling those arms all the way up. Nice deep breath here. And then bringing those hands back down. And then pushing yourself into downward dog. So again, giving yourself a nice big stretch here. Feel free to, every time you come into downward dog, if you'd like, you can bring those knees apart, the toes together, and just come back into child's pose. And then just allow the breath to settle. Otherwise, staying in your downward dog, finding a stillness here. Taking another few breaths. And then we're going to walk to the middle of the mat, bringing your feet hip width apart and slowly rolling all the way up to standing. Bringing those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. And we're going to come into eagle here. You're going to bring your arms out to the sides and actually do it towards you. So bring your arms out to the sides, and you're going to lift that right leg up. Bend that left knee and then bring that leg over. So you might just kickstand, which means your toes are going to go on the ground, or you can bring it all the way over. And then you're going to bring your right elbow underneath and link it up so your fingertips are together. So feel free to stay right here, or if you'd like, come forward and bring the elbows to the knee. Another nice deep breath. And then coming all the way back up. Nice and balanced. And then release, bringing those arms up. And hands to heart center. And then the other side, bringing those arms out, bending the knees, finding a nice focus in front, something that's not moving. And then bringing that leg over again. You can wrap it all the way around, or you can just put it right on the ground. Left elbow underneath, and then wrap it up. So whatever you'd like, wrap it all the way around. And then bring the elbows to the knee. Balance. Some days you're balanced and some days you're not. And then come back up. Good. And then release. Bringing those arms all the way up and hands to heart center. Beautiful. And let's come back up to the front of the mat. Take a nice deep breath, close the eyes. Bring those feet, open the eyes and bring those feet apart. And we're going to come into a nice, actually moved back to the middle of the mat. and come down into a squat. So in this squat, you can move your heels in just a little bit and the knees can come out. And then if your heels pop up, that's fine. You can always put something underneath your heels if they pop up a little bit as well. And then you're just gonna bring your hands forward. And what I want you to do here is I want you to just round your back and either press your fingertips into the ground or press your hands into the ground. And then exhale, and then bringing those hands to heart center, and then opening up the heart and the chest. And the triceps come right into the inside of those quads. Bringing those hands down, round in the spine, in your cat, and then bringing those hands to heart center and coming into your squat. Good, last one, bringing those hands down and then rounding that spine. Good, and then bringing those hands to heart center. And then you're gonna bring those hands forward, bring the toes forward and just extend the legs. And you can just bend one knee, bend the other knee. Breathe in and out through the nose, give your head a little shake, yes, no. Grab those elbows, ragdoll. Engage the quads, just allow everything to come down. Again, you've got a nice wide stance here. And bring your hands to your hips and then bring your hands behind your back. So you can either leave your hands right here with your elbows up, or you can bring your hands behind your back and straighten out your arms. Bring your shoulders away from your ears and then come forward. Getting a nice big shoulder opener here. Taking another nice deep breath. And then as you release those hands, you're gonna come back into your squat, hands to heart center. Again, you can move those feet apart. So a couple options here. We're gonna come into crow from here. And there's a couple options. So if you'd like, even if there's something underneath your heels, it's perfect. Just bring your hands forward. And what I want you to do, really important to anytime that you're on your hands, you wanna be nice and balanced. So you're gonna press into your fingertips so they change color, so they get a little bit white, and press into your palms. And then, so your knuckles are up just a tiny bit. So this allows you to balance from side to side, almost like your fingers are your toes. It's really a good balance. If your fingertips are up, you're less balanced. So just remembering, you're using your fingertips, you're using your palms. And then you're rolling your shoulder blades away from your ears. You don't want them to come in too much, so shoulder blades away from the ears. And then I want you to bring your knees to your triceps and then lift up your hips. You might have to widen your hands a little bit. My hands, my fingertips, or my pinkies are about as wide as the mat. And what I'm gonna do is suck in my belly and come into almost a cat position. And my toes are just coming to the ground. So here, these are options. So you can stay right here and be really happy looking at the ground, bringing that belly in. Or if you'd like, you can bring both toes off the ground to touch in crow. The trick is to look forward and not back towards your feet. Again, sucking in that belly, taking a few breaths here. And then bringing those feet down and then bringing those hands to heart center. And then tomorrow we try that on a paddleboard. I'm just kidding. And then bringing those hands back to the ground and then straightening out those legs. And then inhaling those arms all the way up, fingertips to touch, hands to heart center. Coming to the front of your mat. Beautiful. So let's inhale those arms all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, fold all the way forward. Inhaling to a flat back. Exhaling into high plank. Good, and then coming back into your downward dog. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna bring those heels over to the right, just like we did in plank. And then over to the left. Over to the right. Good, over to the left. And over to the right. And over to the left. Good, coming right back to that center. And then coming up on those toes and really steepening that tailbone up to the sky. Bring those toes together. Nice long spine here. And then slowly bring the heels down to the ground. And then coming back up. And then slowly bringing those heels down to the ground. Last one, toes. And then slowly bringing those heels back to the ground. Good. And then coming onto those knees, let's curl those toes under. And then come into toe breaker for just a second, bringing those hands to heart center. Inhaling those arms up. And then in this one, if you'd like, coming and bringing those hands behind the back, grabbing onto those elbows, or if you want to reverse namaste, just opening up the heart and the chest after our nice little crow with our bringing our hands forward, just opening up that space in the pec major and the minor. Another nice deep breath here. If you'd like to come off the top of onto the top of your feet, feel free. This is pretty intense until you get used to it. One more breath. And then bringing those hands forward and then giving yourself a little pound out here. Bringing those hands a little further forward, curling those toes under, coming back into your downward dog. And then we're gonna look towards those hands and come to a seated position. You can jump those feet all the way through if you'd like. Bringing those feet through, shoulder blades back and down, and then bringing those hands forward. Bringing those feet about hip width apart, and then slowly coming all the way down into the back. Bringing those hands all the way down, and then we're gonna bring those toes all the way up to the sky. So bringing in that lower belly, so just finishing with a nice strong core. We're gonna do one set of the water wheel. So you're gonna bring your feet so they're hovering off the ground. Bend the knees to the chest and toes to the sky. Good. And then toes to a hover. Knees to the chest, toes to the sky. To a hover. Knees to the chest, toes to the sky. To a hover. If you want to make it harder, you can bring the chest off the ground. Knees to the chest, toes to the sky. To a hover. Knees to the chest, toes to the sky. One more. To a hover. Knees to the chest, toes to the sky. And then just bring in those knees. Give yourself a little rock on that spine. Bringing those hands down and those feet down. Making sure those feet are nice and lined up with those fingertips. So the feet are about hip width apart. And you're just gonna come into a nice simple bridge, bringing those hips up. Opening up the heart and the chest if you'd like to grasp those hands. Just a few breaths here. Again, nice opening. And then coming all the way down into the back. Bringing those legs all the way out. Right knee into the chest. Right knee over to that left hand side. Bringing the right hand over. Twist. Knee up. Switching it out, bringing that left knee up. Bringing the left knee over to the right hand side. Looking over the left shoulder. Nice supine twist. Another breath. Knees into the chest. Giving yourself a little bit of love. Thanking yourself for such a strong practice. Nice crow. And then bringing those legs out, coming into your full Shavasana. Exhaling everything onto the ground. You can give your hips a little bit of a shake. And then just relaxing, allowing everything to release, reset, restore. And giving yourself as much time as you can here. 10 minutes, a half an hour, whatever time you have. At least 10 breaths, just allowing your whole body to reset. Feeling the belly rise and fall. You can even place the right hand on the belly and the left hand on the heart. Let's just take 2 more breaths together here. Bringing the knees into the chest. Giving yourself a nice little rock. And then rocking up to seated. However, seated is comfortable for you now. Rolling those shoulder blades back and down, bringing those hands to heart center, closing the eyes. Embodying that strength, that grace. Taking that into the rest of your day. Enjoying the journey. Namaste.